welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be learning a whole lot. So buckle your seatbelt and get ready for this interesting ride. Today I'm going to be creating a mock-up for this mid-bust tulip corset. I'm also going to be teaching you how to fix the front busk. You can see that this corset has a busk in front, at the center front, so I'm going to be showing you how to fix that. I'm also going to be showing you how to use spiral steel boning. So usually for my corsets that go over the bust, I prefer to use spiral steel boning because, as you can see, spiral steel boning is flexible in all directions, so it can easily go over the bust, like bend over the bust and not look weird. So I'm going to be showing you all of this, so make sure that you watch this video to the very end. So this is an illustration of the corset we're going to be creating a mock-up for, and it's basically a mid-bust tulip corset, meaning that it starts from slightly above the nipple point. So you can rework this corset pattern into a dress like this, just a really nice dress, or you can just have it as a full corset like this. So this is the result of our mock-up, just really easy and simple. So first off, what is a mock-up? A mock-up is an unfinished sample that is used to test run the pattern for design accuracy and fit accuracy. It's also called a toile or a muslin, and it's usually made from cheap fabric. For example, you can use teru fabric or upholstery fabric. However, you need to use a fabric that is kind of similar in texture to the intended fashion fabric that you're going to be working with. So on to the main business of the day. These are the tools that we're going to be needing for this practical, and this is the teru that I'm going to be working with. So notice that this is teru. Teru doesn't even stretch on bias. Like, that's the main thing about teru. It doesn't stretch on bias. That's why it's better to use it to create mock-ups for corset patterns, shirt patterns, trouser patterns, and all of that. So if you've bought any of our patterns, whether it's our cardboard patterns or our printable PDF patterns, you would notice that in the instruction, it comes with instructions, right? So you will notice that in the instructions, the first thing that you will see is that we usually state create a mock-up first. So that is what I'm going to be showing you how to do in this video. So this is what my pattern looks like. Now this is PDF pattern. Our patterns come in PDF and cardboard pattern format. So this is the cardboard patterns. The cardboard patterns come with seam allowances already added. So for the cardboard patterns, you just place on fabric and cut, right? However, for our printed patterns, our PDF patterns, in most cases, they come in size ranges. So for example, small, medium, large, and all of that, and extra large, right? And small is from size 4 to size 8. Medium is from, I think, 10 to 14. I need to confirm that, and all of that. So usually when they come like that, you would need to trace them out and then add seam allowances. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. I'm adding seam allowances. Now, because I'm going to be using my seam allowance as my boning channel as well, I have used 3/4 of an inch as my seam allowance, so I can also use that as my boning channel because it's a single layer mock-up. Now a single layer mock-up means that you're not going to be lining the mock-up, it's just the teru that you're going to be creating. So by reason of that, I don't want to have to waste too much time since it's just a mock-up. So you can see me adding my seam allowances and cutting this out, right? So this is what you're going to be doing. However, if it was a cardboard pattern that is a single sized pattern, you wouldn't need to add seam allowances, just place on fabric and cut. Right now, I've gone ahead and I've cut out all of my pattern pieces onto the fabric, and for my center front pattern, I cut 2 because I also want to use the teru fabric to face that center front because of the busk that I'm going to be fixing there. So just only the center front fabric did I cut as against cutting 2, sorry, I cut 4, whereas for all the other pieces I cut 2 each. Now I'm going ahead to trace out my bust point line. That is very, very important. So whenever you receive our patterns, they always come with lines. Usually in most cases, the first horizontal line is the bust point line, second horizontal line is the under bust line, and then the third horizontal line will be the waistline. So make sure that you notch all of those points because you're going to use those notches as a guide when you are sewing. This is very, very important. So I'm notching all of my lines, and then I'm just going to go ahead and sew. So I've gone ahead to sew, and you can see that for the center front, I sewed the facing. Can you see how I've sewn the facing? Because I want to fix that front busk. That's why I faced that center front. So the first thing that you need to do to fix your front busk is to confirm the length of your center front. That's the vertical length. Measure the vertical length, because that will determine the length of the busk that you're going to be using. Now this is my busk, right? It comes as a pair. So there's the one that has the loop, and then there's the other one that has the button, as you can see. So this is the one with the loop, and the other one is the one that has the button. Now we're going to be working with this one that has the loops first, before we proceed to the button one. So for the loops, you place it along your center front. Can you see how I've done that? And then mark where the loops are going to sit, because you need to create an opening at those points. So you would see me using my pencil to mark where the loops will sit. So can you see what I'm doing? I'm just marking where the loops will sit. So after marking that, I'm just going to go ahead and loosen just those spots. So after loosening those spots, lock the stitches for after the opening, so that it's not as though the thing will now continue loosening. I hope you understand what I mean. So I've opened it up, as you can see, and I'm just going to go ahead and fix it in between. Can you see? So by the time you're fixing it, it should just sit into all of the holes, right? So it should sit into all of the holes. It's not as easy as I'm doing it. I've sped up this video, so that's why it looks easy. So you need to just take your time and do it. So after doing this, make sure that you push it out so that you have the loops showing. So now to the button area, just put it in between and mark where the buttons are protruding from. Mark those spots and then create holes so that the buttons can just come out through those places. So now this is me trying to fix this busk. Now to do this, I'm going to be working with my invisible zipper foot. I'm going to be using this invisible zipper foot because it's going to help you sew as close to the edge as possible, and you need to be able to do that. So it's not like your busk will now be dangling in between the seam. Do you understand? So you can see me using my invisible zip to sew along, to create a loop, kind of just to hold the busk in place. At this point, you should have hemmed the top part of your corsets, right? So that it's just easier for you. But even if you've not hemmed it, anyways, you can hem it after. So for my boning channel, for my seam allowances, I'm going to go ahead and iron my seam allowances flat and open. Once I've done that, I'm now going to go ahead and sew them down. Can you see that? So these are my seam allowances. I'm going to iron them down. Now you're ironing them in opposite directions, right? So you iron one to the left, iron the other one to the right, you know, and all of that. And then go ahead and stitch that down. Remember that I said I'm using my boning channel, my seam allowances as my boning channel. Now this is what I was supposed to use as a waist tape. I did eventually fix a waist tape, but just to fix your waist tape anyways, you just sew along those points. I explained this in my waist snatching masterclass, so you can head over to my website www.universityofpatterndrafting.com to sign up for that class and see the full details. So anyways, I'm going ahead to sew these points. So can you see how I'm sewing it up so that I can fix my spiral steel boning in between? I'm creating loops for my spiral steel boning to sit in. So I had about, I think, 30 or so boning channels, so I went ahead and sewed. Very long process, but you just need to always test the fit of your pattern before you go ahead and cut out on your fashion fabric. Like, you need to test for the design accuracy and the fit accuracy, very, very important, before you proceed to cut on your actual fabric. So once I was done stitching, you can go ahead and iron just to make it, you know, look clean and all of that, before you now go ahead and fix the spiral steel boning. Now to fix the spiral steel boning, you need to be very, very, very patient. I'd done my grommet, I'd fixed my grommet at that point, so that one was gone. And then this is my busk. I'm just fixing it just so that you see, you can see how it sits. It has to sit properly, right? So the next thing is I'm going to hem the top of my corset with bias, right? Then the bottom, because of the shape at the bottom, because the shape at the bottom is not really even, I'm just going to hem that one when I'm done fixing my boning, right? My spiral steel boning. So I've hemmed the top, so we're going to go ahead and fix this boning, the spiral steel boning. Now to fix this spiral steel boning, they come in different lengths, as you saw in the previous clip that I showed. So usually when you're buying your boning, especially if it's spiral steel boning that comes pre-cut, you need to measure the length of your boning channel so that you know what length of boning to buy. So this is the longest length. I can't remember what length this particular spiral steel boning size was, but I know this was the longest. So I fixed it at my center front that required the longer bonings. So for each seam, I had 2 boning channel on each seam because I sewed, remember that I sewed my seam allowances down in opposite directions, right? So I'm just going ahead to fix them 2 boning per seam, right? So this was a lot of boning. So try to know the length of the boning channels that your pattern requires before you go ahead and buy the spiral steel boning. You need to know the length, you need to know the width, because it also comes in different widths, right? So I'll just go ahead and fix the boning in everything. Now you can see that some are protruding, so I'm going to show you what to do if your spiral steel boning is protruding, like if your spiral steel boning is longer than the length of your boning channel, so you know how to cut it. Now if you are not subscribed to my channel at this point, because go ahead and subscribe like right away, because I cannot be talking all this long story and you've not subscribed yet, because we're going to be uploading a lot more insightful tutorials like this. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss out on the tutorials that I'm going to be sharing. Now let me show you how to cut your longer boning, your longer spiral steel boning. So I'm just going to be using a plier. That was a plier that I showed you. So make sure that the length of your boning is 1/2 inch shorter than the full length of your boning channel, because you need room to be able to hem your corsets. So I'm just using the plier to cut it. Essentially, it's actually a tedious process. It's not as easy as it looks. So once I'm done cutting it, I'm going to file it. Now the essence of filing it is just so that it doesn't have sharp edges that would, because you know it's steel, so it doesn't have sharp edges that will be poking you when you're wearing the corset. So you file it so that the edges now become very, very even, kind of. It's not sharp, right? And then once you are done filing it, you go ahead and use sellotape to finish up the edges. It's just to protect you from getting hot, essentially, and protect your spiral steel boning from actually poking through the fabric, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and finish it off this way and then cut out the sellotape and push it back in. So this is essentially what you're going to do for everything, for all of the boning channels where the spiral steel boning is longer than the length of the boning channel that you created. Now the thing is that the spiral steel boning that I bought came pre-cut, as you can see. So they came in like pre-cut lengths. There are some that actually come in rows and then you can cut it to whatever length that you want, but my own came pre-cut, so I have to cut it to the actual length that I need. So once I'm done, I'll just go ahead, file it, and then finish it off with sellotape, trim off the excess sellotape, and then fix it in. That's basically what I did for everything until I was done. So once I'm done, I'll just go ahead and show you what the final result looks like. So first off, once I was done, I hemmed the edges. So I can't use bias because the edges were, uneven. So I went ahead and hemmed it, and this is what the final result looks like. Now to the moment of truth. I know you already saw it at the beginning of the video anyways. So this is what the final outcome looks like. Now, in my waist snatching masterclass, I showed how to lace up your corset like this, so that you can actually lace up your corset yourself, just in case there's nobody to help you. So as I'm pulling the top rope, you can see that the top part is tightening. Can you see? As I'm pulling the top rope, the top part is tightening. If you pull the bottom rope, the bottom part will be tightening. If you pull both at the same time, the waistline will be tightening. But anyways, can you see how it is? So you're supposed to do this in front of a mirror. Because I was not doing this in front of a mirror, that's why it's overlapping like that. So I'll just go ahead and adjust it. But you get the gist, and you can see how snatched the waistline of my corset looks. So this pattern is perfect. The fit is perfect. The style accuracy is also perfect. So once you've created your mock-up, you can now go ahead and create it with your fashion fabric with your full chest, knowing that your pattern is accurate. So that's the essence of a mock-up actually, and it just lets you see in real time your design, right? So that you know whether you want to proceed with that design or whether you don't like it. So I loved the outcome of this. Like, I love the shape of the back. It's just really nice. I really like how it is anyways. So you just go ahead and tie, just go ahead and tie it yourself. Your arms might be aching you, but that's what it is. It is what it is anyway. So this is what it looks like. Remember that I said it starts from slightly above your bust point. So can you see what it looks like? I see the front bust. Like, I love this pattern. Like, I can't even lie. I love this pattern. So to place an order for patterns, you can send a WhatsApp message to this number that you can see on the screen. And to join our physical or on any of our online classes, you can visit our website www.universityofpatterndrafting.com, and make sure to follow us on Instagram at universityofpatterndrafting.com. Ciao, guys.